Are you a football fan? Have you ever found yourself wondering, what in the world was that ref thinking? Well, Mike D, the referee, is here to help you. Join me on Whistle Talk as I talk to professionals on the field and in the booth to help you understand what is going on inside the mind of a football official.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Whistle Talk. Mike D, the referee, joining you from what's actually a cold New Jersey tonight. We're starting to get some weather in this parts. It's starting to feel like football weather finally here. We are not in the summer, we're not in the winter, but we're in football season. Joining me once again tonight is Mr. Daniel Chamberlain. What's up, Daniel? How you doing, sir?
Mike D, I'm doing fantastic, sir.
Awesome. How is your season going so far to this point?
Well, it's halfway over, which is the saddest part. Halfway through the regular season. We expect to be a postseason team.
All right, well, that's the positive.
When 5 weeks click off, man, like we blink, we're halfway through. So
here in New Jersey, our first week of playoffs is Halloween weekend, and wow. Yeah, so we're
right along.
We're right there. We're ready to rock and roll pretty soon. And by the time this recording comes out, it's going to be like 2 weeks left. So it's pretty crazy.
Awesome. No, we play into, I think our last game is November 7th. So the first Friday in November is our last regular season game.
All right.
And
see, now
playoffs will start the next week.
Jersey added an extra round of playoffs finally. So now that we have a true group champion, so which was something new probably about 3-4 years ago now, but so they added a week of postseason, so we only have 9 regular season games, and then postseason begins, and then teams can pick up a 10th game if they don't qualify, and I don't know, there's all this other stuff. But anyway, I digress. So tonight, Daniel and I are going to take a look at some wild and wacky plays that we've had either sent to me or Daniel has a play that we're going to discuss. So tonight's going to be a great visual show. So I highly recommend taking a look at that YouTube page. Which reminds me, ladies and gentlemen, if you're enjoying the show, do me a favor, hit those follow and subscribe buttons. I should just record this and just hit play on it. It's totally free to hit those buttons, and it helps people find the podcast. While you're at it, I'd love if you can leave a quick rating or review on your favorite podcast app. It only takes a minute, but once again, if you're doing this while driving, please don't do any of that. Drive safely, get to where you got to go, and then do it. And if you do want to check it out on YouTube, go to the www.youtube.com/@Mike D the referee. And lastly, if you want to buy me a beer, which Daniel, cheers to you, my brother.
Hey, cheers, brother.
If you want to buy me a beer, if you want to buy Daniel a beer, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/Mike D the referee and put Daniel's name in there, and I'll send him over one if that's where it's going to. But yeah, so tonight, a little bit of a different show. Like I said, we're going to kind of do, it is going to be a little bit more visual, but we're going to do our best to give you all the play-by-play of the different plays that we're going to show here. But before we dive into that, Daniel, once again, where can the peeps find you at?
Absolutely. The biggest thing is the podcast. You can find me at the Football Coaching Podcast with Joe Daniel. That comes out every Thursday. Basically anywhere that you listen to podcasts. The other one is the Coaching 101 podcast. I do that with Kenny Simpson. Those come out every Sunday morning about 6 a.m. for you early risers. You want to get up, watch film, and listen to a little podcast, you can do that there. And then, those all go on the YouTube all over the place. So
there you go. Yeah, check them out for the coaching friends that are out there. And like I always say, for the officials that are out there, go learn about coaching too. It helps us be better at our job as it helps them to know the rules at their job. So we can have a little kumbaya moment there between coaches and officials. That'll never happen, but we're trying.
We try. Look, being on here with you, I have tried so much harder football game to just get, but then it almost feels like you're sucking up and they're like, what is that guy trying to get away with? You know what I mean? Why is he being so nice?
Trying to buy a call. I get it.
Trying to buy a call. It happens.
So I got pulled up here. I'm looking at my huddle playlist here. It looks like I've got 19 different clips here, and I know Daniel has a clip that he wants to show. And so to give everybody a heads up, a lot of the clips and from the previous episode we talked about as an official, don't be embarrassed if you get brought up on your local assignment crew film, however you guys do it. We do it. We're showing film of, well, sometimes it's mistakes, sometimes it's good mechanics, sometimes it's like, hey, great catch on this one, good job on that one. Other times it's okay, we kind of missed it. So tonight I got a little bit of both, and a lot of it is from people in my association. Other ones are from clips from around the country that some other people have sent me. So please understand the whole purpose of it is so that we all get better. So if you happen to see yourself up on the screen or in a Zoom meeting with your association, own up to it. You goofed, you made a mistake. And actually, story for you today, I worked a freshman game, and I worked a freshman game with a guy that I was in the cadet class with. So we go way back. And there was a turnover. I was the referee. I was in the offensive backfield, and turnover, interception going down the sideline. I saw the defensive guy peel back, and he absolutely lambasted this kid. I threw my flag, and the guy that was on the sideline, after the play was over, he's like, Mike, that was 100% clean. I saw his head get around. He saw the hit coming. He got blown up, but it was a clean hit. I'm like, all right. Picked up the flag, and I waved it off in a freshman game. So I swallowed my pride. He had a better call than I did. He had a better angle. I saw smoke, so I threw it, and because I saw the hit, I couldn't see where the head was. But hey, I made a mistake, and my crewmate, he helped it, and we waved it off, and I'm like, all right, move on, let's go. So yeah, it happens. Just own up to it.
That's the kind of attitude I like, because we have to admit our faults when we call bad play or, use the wrong kid in the wrong way or ask them to do whatever it is, right? But sometimes, man, and this year, I think I've seen more flags waved off this year, and some of them would have helped us.
Mm-hmm.
But I've seen more waved off this year than I think I ever have in my career. So maybe it's a global thing. Maybe you're all like, it's finally that extreme ownership is hitting pretty hard.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Hopefully we don't have too many of those flags that we have to keep waving off, and hopefully we never have those inadvertent whistles, because I don't want them anymore. So, Daniel, let's start off with your clip.
I've got two.
You
got the first one. We'll talk.
Oh
through.
boy!
I had another one that I almost sent to you last week, and I didn't, but I've got it now. So
right. You could share your screen. And once he gets that up, we'll kind of give you a play-by-play. So I'll do my best. Pat Summerall, John Madden for you here. You should see a share on the bottom of your screen, a share icon.
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out some other stuff. All right, there we go. I'm just gonna let it ride, and then, so I guess we got to do play-by-play for the folks that are just listening. Essentially, what we have at the beginning here is going to be almost like maybe 11 personnel. It depends on how you classify an H-back. I classify them as tight end. So I would call this 0-2 personnel. We have got a tight end in line to the left, and then like a sniffer right behind him. Quarterback's empty shotgun, and we got twins on the far side of the screen and a solo off-the-ball receiver close to us. So you basically got a 3-by-2 formation here, empty. I'm going to hit play and let it ride, and we'll kind of talk through it. So what we get is the outside receiver close to us goes up on the ball. What was lined up as a tight end was the inline tight end is actually a 50s number 58. He goes in a line stacked behind that wide receiver, and the sniffer just goes back almost to like a regular halfback alignment sidecar.
So now the initial formation, I didn't realize this. I thought it was from a different spot, but then you also have the tackle.
The tackle was number 5, so it is the tailback was at tackle, so he shifts back to his actual tailback position.
All right, so that's interesting.
There's like a lot going on there. So obviously a little smoke and mirrors here from my buddy who sent me this play. So then what you end up with before the ball is snapped is more of a 2-by-2. It's kind of oddball. The twins stayed the same. The stack now has an offensive guard as the rear guy in the stack. So technically you have a tight end and an eligible number on the far right side of the line. There's just a lot going on here.
Yeah, and that tight end is now covered up with the eligible number. So number 58, who is the previous tight end, catches basically what looks like a stop screen in that stack position at the bottom of the screen here. Now, it's good to point out, Daniel, I got to put this from the coaching perspective. As a defensive coach, you see number 58 go and flank out like that. They don't adjust at all.
No.
They don't. The defense stays where they are because, well, technically he's an ineligible number here. So with this play, you would have illegal touching. So the pass is a forward pass to an ineligible number who is ineligible by number, not by formation, but by number. That person is ineligible. So this play would be legal. And I had to do some double checking when Daniel
legal or illegal?
Illegal because of the forward pass aspect.
Right.
Now I had to do some digging to double check myself too, because I said automatically that this person was illegal and talking to some cohorts of mine. If it were a backwards pass to number 56, then it would have been okay. But this is definitely a forward pass. It's a forward pass that's behind the line of scrimmage, but that's still a forward pass. So in this scenario, there should be a little yellow hanky on the ground.
There you go. So yeah, obviously they got away with one here. This is what happens when you ask a fullback to play guard for your team. You give him a little love. They do not have, Coach texted me a minute ago and said they do not have a numbers restriction because this is a junior high game. So like you said, they don't have to have the 5 ineligible numbers on the line of scrimmage because of the lack of number restriction. So yes, with it being a forward pass is the only penalty here.
And that brings up something that has happened to me years ago where I had a coach very, very upset with me. And I understand it to a bit. It was a team that was playing all 2 tight end set, and they were playing all 2 tight end set. This was either a JV or a freshman game, and they were using offensive linemen. But this was a group 5 school. So the numbers of players that they had were just, all right, well, we want to get our best blockers out there, and they just happen to be ineligible. They happen to be linemen, so they were wearing an ineligible number. Well, late in the game, they sent and went 4 verticals with their 2 50s and 60 numbers running verticals, and the coaches on the defensive side were all ticked off at us. And I'm like, Coach, I said, it's a JV game. We don't really enforce that because we have a number of JV and freshman teams that come down. They don't have enough jerseys. They can't afford either the jerseys, or they are at a JV game. I mean, hell, I remember on a JV game on the bus, hey, who can long snap? All right, you're snap. Anybody here kick? Okay, you're kicking today. Like, it was a hodgepodge. We were making stuff up. Like if there was not a chalkboard or a dry erase board, we were drawing stuff up in the ground. So It happens.
I want to go this other clip that I have, and this comes from some film review that I was doing. And as I was watching this, they've got a team they're about to put, like, this ends up being a very, very close game. And my alma mater is in white here. So this is my high school team that I played for. And then we won't talk too much about the other team here. But so this is them coming out of, I believe this is after like a kickoff or something, because they're pretty. Oh no, it's 3rd and 16. Oh yeah, there we go. So it's 3rd and 16, right? The defense is just about to get them off the field, and now it's going to give me issues.
Loading. You wouldn't happen to have Verizon as your Wi-Fi connection?
I do not.
Another shameless plug for Starlink going on right now.
Hey, you ain't kidding. It's about time. All right, let me fill that out. I will reshare.
All right, so we got 3rd and 16.
3rd and 16, and you can see the offense is kind of in. Oh, not again. I just went through this. Yeah, no doubt. There we go.
All right, here we go. Oh, we got a whole lot going on there. So we got 3rd and 16 from A's own 15-yard line. And, well, we're going to have an illegal shift is what I'm going to see going on here. Because you got guys just all walking all over the place. You got a running back coming out into the slot, a slot receiver coming in almost to a wing position. The running back is kind of yo-yoing back and forth like it's Canadian football. And while all this is happening, now, bam, the ball gets snapped. So also with that, and I'm looking in the background,
back there too.
Play clock, yeah. So they're on point with the play clock, but I'm going to say that the center probably. I'm going to assume that there's a play clock in the far end zone that the center saw and was like, "Let me get this ball snapped." But yeah, you got a lot of movement going on there pre-snap, and there should be some other laundry on the field that I'm not seeing at the moment.
They threw no penalty. The play counts, and they go down and score on this drive, and it's the difference in the ball game.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not good. We got to get those pre-snap ones. We got to get those movements. Those are the ones we have to get. And I mean, you got two short wings that are looking at each other that got to be able to communicate that. And heck, actually rewind that one more time.
Of course.
So that slot receiver that comes from the backfield and walks up into the slot, I think he also punches himself on the line of scrimmage, so that makes him ineligible.
He's covered up. All three of them are on the line of scrimmage.
So you got a tight end, a slot receiver, and an outside receiver. And the outside receiver goes. So we got an eligible man downfield along with an illegal shift. Woo. So
one of them, right?
Yeah. So now, without seeing the next play to defend the officials, this is not something that's going to be killed. This is something that's going to be at the snap. So I'm I got to take your word for it that you're saying that the next play they went down and they scored. So I don't see any laundry up top, and I didn't. Bottom of the screen's kind of cut off, but yeah, this one's there's got to be something called here.
And I want you to see this right here.
22.
They're down 22-8, and they come back and win this game. So it makes a difference, man. Like
it does.
It makes it. Every play counts. Anyway, all right, that's my two that I had, Mike. So I'm excited to see yours. If you, we didn't really discuss that too much at all in verbal. So if you guys are listening, just go check out the YouTube. There's three people that are in motion basically, and the running back is walking toward the line of scrimmage when the ball is snapped. So lots and lots of chaos, and unfortunately, none of it was called.
Yeah, so that one stings a little bit. But ironically, and recently, a game that we had, which turned out to be a really, really good game. We had a pass interference play. Trying to remember the exact scenario. Pass interference play gave the team a first down. Wasn't an automatic first down, but by yardage gave them a first down. And then on the preceding couple of plays, they eventually got the team to third and about 30, where they then gave up a long touchdown. And the coach was screaming at us that we're the ones who gave up that score because of the pass interference penalty. And we're like, Coach, you had him in 3rd and 30. Like, that if they scored the next play, I'd give a little bit more credence to that. But 3rd and 30, I'm like, you got to make a stop there, not give up a touchdown.
You played an entire extra series almost.
Like, basically, yeah. All right, so my first play that I have up here, I don't exactly know where this one came from, but I know this one was all over social media and the internet. So I'm going to let this one kind of play out. And Daniel, if you want to give your best play-by-play announcing here.
So pre-snap here, we got 2x2, just a base 2x2, 10 personnel, shotgun sidecar thing going on here. So nothing too extraordinary yet.
Yep. So everything is honky-dory to this point. So we got they're rolling up to a little press coverage.
Yeah, they are.
Looks like a little audible. All right. We got an interception by the defense. Bam!
All right, you got to rewind it. I don't even know what's going. No way.
So we got just a basic spread formation here.
No way. That's not
Receiver
what I
gets
just
chucked
saw.
and falls down, and the ball gets intercepted. And then all of a sudden, you have this young man from the sidelines coming out right here,
Not a chance
highlighted,
this happens. Is he?
steps onto the field and blows the kid up to stop an apparent pick six. Daniel, what do you think should be the outcome of this play?
I'm sure the rules don't allow it, but I think this is the old NBA. What is the path of score, whatever that is? What is the NBA's called? I can't even remember. Clear path violation, right? Like,
Yep.
clearly he's gonna go score. I think you have to, but you can't, right? It's football. We don't have that.
No, you can.
Oh, well, then it should be that. It should be clear path violation. He should get the touchdown.
Yep.
And number 9 be ejected the game. And probably that coach who's standing next to him probably said, "Go."
Yeah, I don't even know.
He's standing right next to a coach. I mean,
yeah, he's putting his arms out saying, "Get him." So they did award the touchdown after this. And if you think back to the tush push, what happened last year with the tush push with the linebacker jumping the line that I want to say it was Thanksgiving that they said, I think it was Sean Hockley said, if it happens one more time, they would be awarded a touchdown. The same kind of scenario here where they can award a touchdown. You also then will have an illegal participation penalty. There's a lot going on here. And we discussed this. I pulled this, like I said, this was all over social media, but my chapter was able to get the actual huddle clip of it. So it's a little bit clearer here. I don't know what the true outcome was other than the team was awarded the touchdown. Because we did discuss it on, okay, are we going to also tag them with 15? It is potentially, it's a tough one to eject the kid on this one. Because I mean, you can, I just don't know if I would personally. And if you're out there listening and you would eject them, I would support that too. I'm kind of indifferent with that one. Cause it's not a flagrant injury type of play, a safety issue per se, which I'm kind of like sticking my foot in my mouth here. Cause it kind of is too, but yeah, this one you don't see too often with a player just literally coming off the field, off the sideline and tackling this interception. And,
who was it? Was it John Madden used to trip people running down the sideline? Wasn't it him when he coached for the Raiders? Didn't he trip like
I don't know if it was him, but I know Woody Hayes used to do some stuff too. The old Ohio State guy.
I mean, I think I boot him just because, like, that's nowhere in the spirit of the game, right?
Yes.
Like, it is 11-on-11 football. You just have to. It's man. I'm glad they awarded the touchdown. That would be terrible if they were just like 15 yards from there and count the interception. That would have been absolutely terrible.
Yep.
So, man.
All right, so on to our next one. So I'll give you a quick play-by-play on this one. So we're A's got the ball. Looks like it's 3rd and 13, 14 from the A 40-yard or from B's 40-yard line. So they're going in an empty backfield set. So we got legal formation. Everything pre-snap is legal here. Obvious passing situation here, unless they're going to run some type of screen or draw to try to get themselves into 4th and manageable, but their kicker graduated from this school. So I'll kind of let this one play out. So again, the ball's on the plus 40-yard line. Quarterback drops back.
Right now, right? Number 2 was covered up. Oh, it got a little choppy there.
So I don't think 2... So 2 is not covered up on top. So okay. Yeah, so yeah, we have eligible receivers, 3 eligible receivers up top. So trips up top, and then tight end receiver down below. But yes, everything is copacetic in that aspect. But I want you to take note. I'm going to pause it. So right there, I paused it. Where's the line of scrimmage?
He's still a yardish behind it. Can't really see his feet, but yeah. Yeah, he got past it a little bit.
Just a little bit. So we got an illegal forward pass going on here. The pass actually was thrown from I'm going to rough estimate, say the plus 38 with the plus 40 being the line of scrimmage, maybe 39, 38 and a half to give or take. But we now got an illegal forward pass going on here. So, Daniel, do you remember what the penalty yardage is for this?
No, I don't.
5 yards. But loss of down.
Oh yeah. So it'd be 4th and 9 or 4th and 18.
That's the other caveat here. Illegal forward pass goes from where the ball was passed from. So it's going to be 5 yards from the spot. So in essence, it turns into basically a 3-yard penalty, but the loss of down is killer.
Yeah.
And you can see pass ends up being incomplete. So
Hey, at least your guys called it there. Good job, Zebras.
Yep, we did get that one. But it's just one of those reminders that so NFL rules, if his pinky toe was still in the neutral zone, he's good. But in NFHS, he's in the neutral zone or beyond the neutral zone. We got an illegal forward pass.
So he has to be fully behind when he pulls the trigger.
Correct. All right. So here now we got a kickoff. So we got a free kick play going on. So you're going to enjoy this one. Regular kickoff, it's squibbed down to basically the 15-yard line where K returner receives it, gets to the 17, bounces back, now at their own 5, gets their helmet ripped off, and now they get thrown into the end zone. Did I do justice by that one?
Participant from the point that his helmet comes off, right?
I wouldn't say that because we need to do a better job in this scenario. Right there. He's the ball carrier.
Yeah, I wouldn't have blown it dead. I would let this ride. Momentum's rocking and rolling. Once the helmet comes off, I don't know what y'all's mechanics are and what the rules. I mean, he's an illegal participant if he continues to play football without a helmet.
But we gotta, because he's the ball carrier, we gotta kill that one. So right there, we gotta kill it. So I'm gonna say this should be killed from about the 1 yard line was where the helmet came off. Now I don't know what they called for the helmet coming off, because if you remember, a face mask is any part of the helmet, any opening of the helmet. So if they grabbed the back of the helmet and ripped this kid's helmet off, we got a face mask penalty. So I don't know how else this individual's helmet could come off without there being a face mask penalty involved somehow. So replaying it again. So he's up high around the head.
Yeah, I think he grabs the actual face mask.
Probably does.
They call him down at the keep walking there. Down at the one.
It cuts off.
It's like probably down at the 1-ish because he wasn't going safety. So they kind of did blow it dead. It looks like. I mean, inadvertently by just the play running out of forward momentum.
No, that's one you don't see too often. And now, all right, Daniel, I'm
gonna go back to that one real quick, Mike. You talked earlier about seeing smoke and it caused you to throw your flag. There's been a lot of situations where you get mad that the ref threw the flag, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially if it's something blow it dead. So an inadvertent whistle could be. But you saw smoke. The helmet of the ball carrier goes flying. I doubt he took it off and continued running the football. So I gotta see smoke there and throw it. Is that kind of what your idea would be? Like the ball carrier's helmet's flying. Someone took it off, or do you let it play out? How do you usually do that?
So, like I said, we have to kill this one right away because it's the ball carrier. If it wasn't the ball carrier whose helmet came off, we would let that play continue to be played on. And if that person whose helmet came off then got involved in the play, then we would have a penalty there.
There's like 3 on the white team here, on the K team, that are offsides and they're behind the 5 yard line. So it should have been blown dead from the beginning.
And now in this particular game, for some reason, we got this is a 6-man mechanics game, but a new mechanic for us this year was if we know that the team has not been reaching the end zone with their kickoffs, we can bring our short wings. You could see one of them up top here, up off of the goal line, because normally we're supposed to be on the goal line with the referee. But in my opinion, this is too far.
Okay.
And what happens is because of where they are, they don't have a good angle to see how did that helmet come off, which from camera view, it's pretty obvious that there was a face mask. So you could see they're still
He's walking
at
the wrong way too. Look at him. He
yeah.
backpedaled for the 18, but then he was headed like the guy was going to break it. So,
and now this guy here may have had his vision blocked. So yeah, when I see the helmet come off, I'm thinking, how did it come off? So you're right in that aspect. But if I don't fully see it, I'm not going to throw it. So the person who would have the best angle here is going to be the R, but I don't see any hankies coming out from anybody. So it looks like they just blew it dead at the 1 yard line, which that's the right call. But there should, in my opinion, be something else on top of it.
there is a little bit to like the letting them play and sort. Now, in high school, not so much because we don't have replay. I was watching some college games recently, and there's a lot more this year of just letting a thing play, and then we'll go back and most recent come to mind is the OU Auburn game. Auburn, OU catches a pass like the first play of the game or third play or whatever, a little pass to the outside. The receiver has it for a step and a half. The ball comes out. Auburn picks up a fumble and goes to the house with it for a fumble recovery for a touchdown. And in my heart, I went, damn it, that's a fumble. Because you don't, I'm an OU guy. Like you don't want to give up that easy 6. But then they come back and say, no, that's down. He didn't have, it was an incomplete pass. And like you want that. For the defense, even though I'm an OU fan, I wanted that defender to have his opportunity to run. Because if you blow that dead too early, incomplete pass, and then film says otherwise, you've cost that kid the opportunity at a touchdown. So I do have a little bit of a affinity for guys that want to let it run, let it run its course and kind of see what happens here before we start worrying about blowing things dead. But I do understand here with it being the ball carrier, you've got to kill it.
Because the whole focus of the defense, or in this scenario, the kicking team, is to get the returner. So everybody's on that, where if it's a lineman, they can kind of just pull up and stay out of the play. So
now let's talk for just a second. The illegal participation.
Mm-hmm.
If his helmet comes off, he's supposed to just give himself up anyway, right? Because he can't continue moving forward without a helmet, or that is illegal participation, is it not?
I wouldn't throw the illegal participation on this play. I would put the onus on the officials to kill this play. And this goes back, same thing when we're talking about with a fair catch and an illegal fair catch, or a muff on a fair catch, different things like that. That's got to be on us to keep that kid safe. So that has to be
just in general. If it wasn't
the ball carrier,
ripped it off. It just fell off. He made a juke move. It falls off. Is he supposed to give himself up?
It's still supposed to. It's going to fall on our shoulders. I would blow that whistle.
Okay.
So, and the same. So if you think of if you're the punt returner and somebody else waves a fair catch and you don't realize it, as soon as you catch it, you're going. But I'm blowing the whistle to kill the play because I saw the fair catch. I'm not going to penalize you. And technically that would be a delayed game penalty if you took it to the house and just didn't listen to the whistles, but you don't know exactly what's going on. So it's on us to kill that play at that point in time, because we know that the fair catch occurred.
Of course.
All right. So this one, we got a whole lot of unpacking to do, and I'm going to kind of walk us through this one because I'm not going to lie to you, I still don't know what the outcome of this one was. So formationally, everything that we have here is legal and good to go. So it's going to be the actual play itself. So A has the ball at their own 7-yard line. So let it play out. Ball gets snapped to the quarterback. He pumps once to his right and pulls it down because the coverage is there. And then all of a sudden, the team in blue, it's just a mad rush at the quarterback. So quarterback right now is at his own 1-2 yard line here. So close. So I'm going to let it play through.
On the goal line, right?
Yep. What do you got, sir?
I have honestly an incomplete pass.
Do you?
Yeah, I mean his arms, and from everything we've heard over the Tom Brady years, his arms in a forward motion, it bounces, at the dirt at his feet, but he obviously is throwing that football. Now, 22 is in the area. You can see that little tailback there. Maybe he's just trying to flip it over to him and he just can't get enough on it. I can't tell if it's batted down maybe by that kid in blue, that defensive tack number 9 or whatever. But
now look at where the
22
pass
is clearly blocking, but he's
so
in the area.
So that would be irrelevant. We would give them the benefit of the doubt with that if you're thinking of intentional grounding in that aspect.
Right. Yeah, 22's in the area. His arm's moving forward. The ball just kind of falls off of it. I mean, he has 2 defenders on him, right? Maybe 1, maybe 2. I've got an incomplete pass, and we're resetting at the 7 or 8 or whatever we were at.
But I want you to look at right here. I paused it of where the throwing motion begins.
Mm-hmm.
And now where does the ball land? When it first hits the ground.
Yes. But okay, obviously on film. Let's talk film versus real. In real life, the ball lands behind him. It is a reverse pass or a backwards pass. It is a fumble because it's a backwards pass.
And I'm pretty sure that
his hand is extended, and obviously it just falls off his hand. But he's got a very huge human dragging him backwards. So the fact he couldn't get any forward propulsion on it, and it just kind of rolls off his hand. Yeah.
So,
I would have called that incomplete and fought tooth and nail to keep it that way. It would be very hard for me to say with a guy draped on him that's a legitimate backwards pass or a fumble.
So I think the call on this play was for a backwards pass, and I think a safety was awarded because then it was recovered by 22, who is then subsequently tackled very close to getting out of the end zone, but in their own end zone. So I'm pretty sure that a safety was called.
Yeah, and again, you don't get an official's view here or anything, do we?
No. That's the one negative with Huddle is you got a coach, teacher, parent upstairs videoing it, and all of a sudden they're clipping between plays, and you don't get the full outcome of it from the official standpoint. So the only way I would know what the true outcome was would by see the next play, which I don't have access to right now. But yeah, that one, you just said it in real time. We're watching it on film and I'm rewinding it and going back and forth in real time. Though, we got to make a decision on that. And somebody's going to be pissed off one way or the other, no matter what decision we make, because if we call that incomplete, the blue team is going nuts on their sideline. We call that a safety, the white team is going nuts on their sideline. So that's one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't scenarios. That's why we get paid the big bucks.
That's why you get paid absolutely nothing.
All right. So our next play, we got another kick scenario going on. All right. Right there. What do you got?
It's the ball's down. That's touchback. Went into the end zone. That's pretty easy.
But wait, there's more. Didn't get stopped. This one we blew. So the kickoff got to about the 2-yard line. The receiver ran over their shoulder to try to catch the ball, muffed the ball into the end zone, but muffed the ball, muffed the kickoff. A kick is a kick is a kick into the end zone in high school. We have a Daniel.
This is a touchback. And look at I think you called him a wing here.
The short wing.
That's a short wing. He gives the signal for a touchback.
He does.
Right now he goes, yep, that's touchback. And then he gives up on it. He's has no confidence. Maybe he didn't blow the whistle, couldn't reach his whistle.
So we're always taught mechanically, I want to blow my whistle first and then give my signal. And I learned this the hard way because I one time as a wing called for a touchdown like this with one hand up and one hand with the whistle in my mouth. And we want to kill the play so that somebody doesn't lay out the guy in the end zone. So I want to blow the whistle and then go up with 2 hands showing for a touchdown. Well, in this scenario, I want to kill the play and then give the touchback scenario.
Yeah.
Not only did he not kill the play, he's also giving the NFL touchback signal. which is set down to the ground with that wing flapping. So this one falls on our shoulders as officials. We blew this one.
What is the signal that the ref and the other short wing are giving right now?
Just wind the clock because of the touching.
Man,
he's winding the
2 out of 3
clock
down there. Miss it. That's tough.
Yep. And again, this is why we have crews. Guy on the top should be waiting at the goal line because he shouldn't be moving because the goal line is our gold. He should see the ball going to the goal line. And as the FAR official, now this goes to, we don't want to fish in other people's pond, but this could save the crew. You see that ball go into the end zone, we got to kill it, no matter how it got into the end zone, because it wasn't a force or anything like that. It was just a muff. A kick is a kick is a kick. So
now,
this one,
is there any leeway for them here in the fact that like they thought he caught it long enough for it to be a fumble? Let's just watch it one more time, live action. I think it's a straight muff. I'm almost certain. Yeah, no, there's no chance.
Yeah, that's a tough sell.
Yeah. Well, it stinks.
All right. So our next one is a little bit of a fun one, and we've talked about this one. So we got a 51-yard field goal attempt. Yep, high school, 51-yard field goal attempt going on here. So everything's legal. Good snap, good operation. Ball is up, and it looks like it gets tipped. But wait, there's more. You see anything there?
Once it crossed the neutral zone, you can no longer return it, right?
In high school, a field goal is a punt that can score. So because the ball does not get into the end zone, this is a returnable kick.
Okay.
So the Auburn, Alabama play from years back of returning the kickoff
deep or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
In high school, that would have been blown dead. But this one, because the ball did not cross the goal line, this is a returnable kick. And this kid does a smart job of keeping the ball out of the end zone. And once again, the player himself can be in the end zone as long as they're keeping the ball out of the end zone in high school. That is also good. But this is a returnable play. And this got brought up in our meeting, not only just to remind us that, okay, this is a live ball scenario, but we needed to discuss our mechanics because unfortunately, if this kid waited another half second until they retrieved the ball and they were still in the end zone, we would have had a touchback, which long run, this kid ends up getting out to about the 22-yard line. Yeah, 22-yard line. So they got 2 yards on where it would have been if it was a touchback. But it's a tough thing for us mechanically to have somebody on the goal line, making sure the ball doesn't cross the goal line while also under the uprights. So that was our biggest conversation with it. But it just goes as a reminder that a field goal is a punt that can score. So if you think about it, there are teams that just use that. Think about the one that I showed a while back with the field goal that was from their own 30-yard line where they just kicked the ball because they had an all-state kicker and he ended up getting downed at the 1-yard line.
Mm.
And that's the scenario we have here.
That coach knew too. Look, he's got 2 returners back there.
Yep.
Like it's a true punt. Very good.
All right. So we got another punt scenario here. Ball snapped. It's bobbled. It's then kicked. And we got our fair catch. But wait, there's more.
Lit up. He does get lit up and continues work. We just had one of these the other day in a game, and I looked for the film of a kid who waved fair catch and then ran with it. And we wanted I was screaming for the penalty in the box and couldn't, obviously they can't hear me, but.
So what happens here is the punt returner waves for a fair catch and then muffs the ball and stops, which he should have, because even though he muffed the ball, we're still killing that because the fair catch happens. And we kind of let the play go through, and he ends up returning it. And you could see the white team on the near sideline, their coaches are flipping out because they see the fair catch. And the player even knew it. He saw the fair catch, and he stops. But there was no whistle. So then the kid decided to keep playing. And now he's got, maybe a 25-yard.
40 yards or something.
Yeah.
Flips the field on them.
Yep.
But it was their players who chose to come hit him, right? Like that made him think, oh, this isn't dead.
But again, this one falls on, I'm going to put it on our shoulders as officials. We need to kill this one.
Once again, look at the near ref or the whatever. Once again, a short wing. I don't know what his title is here. You have way more titles than I could ever remember. But he even walks up and spots it. Like, okay, we're spotting the ball. This is down, and then what? Blow your whistle. Like, what are we doing here? You did the thing. You did all of it except for kill the play.
I want you to take note of this coach right here.
Yep.
He's either waving to his mom on the far sideline or he knows the rule.
Yeah. He said, hey, that was a fair catch for sure.
Yep. All right. This one we already watched. All right. So this is a game that I had opening the season. Kind of rewinded
Where
here.
are we at? I got to find you.
I'm the good looking guy in stripes.
I see you there.
So offense comes out, base formation. They're a wing T style team, but all the eligibles and ineligibles are right. And then all of a sudden they go to do this shift, and the defense jumps across and blasts the guard who didn't do a shift. The people that did do the shift are now the left tackle, the left tight end,
No hands are down. So completely legal to shift that. We do that shift. So where's the penalty?
we got a false start. And we got approved by our state association on this one. I'm gonna rewind it. If they just shifted, casually, we got nothing. But I'm gonna get this one slow, and I want you to watch and tell me if you think that tight end or tackle doesn't look like he's pass setting or pulling.
No, but we do this all the time. So we shift guards only. We shift guard tackle. We shift tight end guard tackle. We do a lot of that. So that looks very normal to me. But I would have talked before the game and said, hey, we move these guys. We get set, and then we shift. We won't put our hands down.
And we did have that talk. But
and if the defense jumps, that's on them.
But the suddenness of the movement is simulating a snap, which is why we hit him for the false start.
I don't agree with it, but I understand, but I don't agree with it.
Not going to lie. I didn't either at first. But we went back in at halftime and we talked it over as a crew because that's not my call. That's the two short wings. And if you watch our short wing up top here, he's calling it right away. Coming in, giving the false start signal. Guy on the bottom was echoing it. He throws his flag.
So I can see to them even, it looks like, once again, this would have been a conversation before. And if I'm a GT team or a GY team, that's what this looks like. It looks like those two guys got the snap count wrong.
And they are a counter team.
Before, you know what I mean? I can get it.
Yep.
I get that it looks like they took off early. With no one else moving, including the center, the quarter. I don't know. I guess that's rough. Okay, I feel you. They are. You said they're wing T, so they're probably pulling a bunch of people anyway.
Every play.
It looks like the guys. So, as a coach, you're coaching this up. You know, you're just telling them to we shift linemen. I mean, linemen have to have the ability to shift. They're side by side with other people. They have to come backwards first, which obviously looks like a pass set.
So I want you to think of the snap down play where the offensive line comes out, and on 4th and 4, they snap down into a 3-point stance. Where every other play, they were just getting down into a 3-point stance. So that play was designed to try to draw the team off sides. That's simulating a snap.
Yeah.
So you have either deception or simulating a snap. So you can classify that into a couple different categories. So that scenario would then fall on the offense if the defense jumped off sides. The defense doesn't jump off sides, we're not going to do anything. We're going to let it play out. But if it draws the defense off, which in this scenario it does, that's why we had it as a penalty on the offense. Because they don't shift like that every play. If you come out and you're a snap down team, if you're on the quarterback's cadence of go or down, and everybody snaps down and does the old Dallas Cowboys, yeah, that's the way. That's your offense. So there's no issue with that. But when it's done for a particular reason at a particular time in the game, that's deception or simulating the snap.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It comes back to like, that's a tough one.
It is.
It is because of the, they look like they're running. Also, I don't want them to shift slow, but I guess having them stand up slowly and then shift. Once again, I think it has to be a pre-game conversation. We shift our linemen. Maybe that you even get away with a false start here and there. I don't know, but I don't know.
All right. So our next play, I actually don't even remember what this one is here, so I'm going to let it play out. So teams on offense. Oh, there we go. Daniel, did you see anything there? So blue teams on offense. Looks like the plus 37-yard line against spread formation. Drops back to pass. You got some
2x2 here.
Yep.
Shotgun.
You got a guy running a deep cross, sort of a dig, and booyah! You could pull out your John Madden on this one. This would be what we call the hit stick. He just lays.
This is what Tom Brady would classify as a terrible quarterback who led his wide receiver into a safety over the middle.
Yeah.
Absolutely no penalty here on the defense in my book. Unless it's grain. Its film's kind of grainy. Maybe he led with his head, but it looks like his forearms are up to me. So I think this is 100% legal. You want to maybe call it defenseless player?
That's exactly what it's called.
But if my arms/hands are up and I'm going for the ball and he's going for the ball.
Yeah. Do you really think he's going for the ball?
Can you prove he's not? That's where I would go. Is like he even lowers underneath his shoulder, that's like a rib shot.
So
I don't know.
It's not a targeting foul, so that's where it definitely differentiates. But this is definitely a defenseless receiver, and the only way he gets away with doing this is if he makes it into a tackle motion. But because he just lowers his shoulder and just lowers the boom, old Seattle Seahawks style, the Legion of Boom in the backfield, that's in today's scheme, that's going to get called every single time.
So if he wraps him up and continues taking him through the ground, he's safe?
100% if it's a tackle motion. And that's where the old school coach in me is like, oh, come on, that's a highlight video clip right there. But in today's game, it's different. I'll let that one play out one more time. And yeah, you're right. This is just bad quarterbacking. Or bad wide receiver play too, because if they're sitting in a zone like that, you don't want to run through a zone because you're going to get your head taken off. You got that open area, sit right there, sit. Ugh. I don't know if he was supposed to sit or
right.
That's a little bit more high level too.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big hit. And if it's on my wide receiver, I'm probably whining on the sidelines too. But once again, this Tom Brady said it. He's like, this new generation of quarterbacks is terrible because of that.
Yep. All right. Similar play here. White on offense. We're in a
little
spread.
bunch?
Yeah, a little trips bunch, but they're not bunched to the
There's
line.
10 players. Is this a
no? The running back is hidden behind the quarterback here. So you do got 11. So
he must be a short little dude. You can barely see him. Okay. He is a short little dude. Look at him. That dude's 5'4".
Now, with what we just talked about on the last play, so it looks like you got some type of sit routes going on here. Yeah, 3rd and 3. So they're looking just to get into the open area. And again, we got
clean because he tries to wrap him up.
You nailed it. And so did number 4. We got an incomplete pass because the defender broke up the play in a tackling motion, just happened to be a big hit. So this is where your big hits are still in play, but because he was doing a tackling motion, it's legal. Any questions on the 2?
No, I still don't know if I agree. I mean, football's different, you know.
Listen, this is a free space. Speak your mind.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just it comes down to like where the hard hits are gone. You know what I mean? It's just it is what it is. But
yeah, it's a different game.
Yes, probably better for some of our kids though. Hey, we've seen these teams before. I recognize that that logo in the middle from earlier.
So now this one.
Look at that halfback like leaning into it. He ain't moving, but boy, he is sure leaning.
Yeah, this one's close.
Is.
So I want you to watch the middle linebacker on this tackle.
Man, he looks like he spears the guy just by his after the play. Yeah, head to head, baby.
Head to head and lowers his helmet. So we got a targeting foul, and it was called. We got this one, baby. This is a good call. It just looks
like I once again when he gets back to the spirit of the of the rule. But man, it just seems like most of them are called when guys are like, I'm literally just trying to hit him, and he lowers his head too. You know what I mean? Like both players lower their heads into the other one. The defense always gets called for it.
This one just
now
looks
this running
odd.
back doesn't. He gets tackled. Is the you know what I mean? And and brings his head to a lower level.
But just watch him
That's a wild play.
Dropping the crown, like he ends up headbutting the ground, the turf, because he lowers his head so low, and his feet are over his head. Look at that. He's almost doing an Amon-Ra St. Brown right there.
Oh, man.
They ended up catching that one though.
There's the hanky.
There it is. And the black sideline here. Well, their coaches weren't happy with it. You'll see the arm coming up. Like, come on. All right. So this one kind of goes back to one we watched earlier. Once you watch the running back. It's a toss out of another bunch formation. Helmet gets knocked off, and they kill it right away. Because as you can see, and going back to what you were talking about, you would want him to stop for his own safety. But if he's got competitive spirit, he's going to keep going. But then so is the defense. And you could see everybody rallying around. And this is where if somebody gets a helmet into this kid's face, that can be severe damage going on there. So
yeah, we're talking surgery type damage, right?
Yeah. So we'll let this one play through again, but you got a toss sweep out of a bunch formation. Helmet comes off right away. And would you have a penalty for the helmet coming off on this one?
Good.
I don't have any, I wouldn't throw a flag on this one. I don't have a face mask or anything on this one because of the way
on my screen, you may be seeing on my screen it's kind of glitchy, and as he makes contact, it like glitches a few frames and you can't tell.
So it's definitely a high tackle, but I think it's the forearms that end up knocking the helmet off.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think they threw anything on this one. So I think they just killed the play for the player's safety and then moved on to the next play. All right. So we're getting close to that time. So I want to finish off on one last play here. So this one was sent to me from a friend. So we got a punt formation. We got a very unique punt formation here though. We got 4th and 8. I don't know where they are in the game, but they're on the plus side of the 50. So when you're on the plus side of the 50 and, it's fourth and medium to say, a lot of defenses are going to go with a safe return here. Well, this defense or this return team does not.
They're bringing it, baby.
And now our formation is you got your 5 linemen, number exception, because we're in a kicking formation. We're in a scrimmage kick formation, so the numbering doesn't matter. But your receiver on the top is on the line of scrimmage. Receiver on the bottom is on the line of scrimmage. Your center is
kind of. What's that guy at the top? I mean, he's a full yard off.
Yeah, he's honored, so you don't see the arm punch back. So they're honoring him. He must have verbally said, "I'm on." And we don't want to move them because if we move them and then the ball gets snapped, now we've just created the false start. So we honor that they're on. Okay. But then at the bottom of the screen, you got 2 wing backs on the right-hand side off the ball and even staggered. And then your personal protector 5 yards back. And then the punter is about 10 yards back. So we do have a legal formation, although kind of unique. It is a legal formation, only 4 guys in the backfield. So everything is good there. And now we're going to let this one play out really quick. Let me back it up just a slight bit. So, and you can see this one was very recent because they've got on the pink socks.
That's kind of what I was expecting. Like, why wouldn't you just run that tight end straight out? He's on, and the guy at the top looks off to me, which I understand the mechanics. You said that the ref should be showing it, or the line judge there, or whatever you call him. I'm 100%. That's exactly what I was about to ask you. Can I send that guy on a route?
So the tight end, if he wasn't covered up, yes. But where is the ball being snapped from?
The positive 44.
Middle hash number.
Right hash, positive 44 yard line.
All right. I want you to take note of where this ball is caught in the route that is being run.
That's a 30, the positive 30.
But right at the hash.
Yeah. Are you saying he came from inside?
I'm saying that's the center.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, it is.
Right down the hash.
Yeah, it is.
Right down the pipe.
Did anybody throw the flag?
No.
They got away with one.
Yes. I'm going to let this roll fully through. And again, your long snapper from the sideline view looks like a single digit, like an 8 or a 9. I can't really tell from this view.
Yeah.
Good snap, but then he releases, free releases 5, right down the hash and catches it and gets tackled at the 10-yard line.
It. Wow. And they missed it.
They got away with it.
Because the number exception.
Yep. And this goes back to my fellow umpires that are out there. I'm calling out all of these numbers here because I give a quick glance to my wings. I don't see the arm extended back. So that means that these guys are all covered up. So they are ineligible by formation. So I am on the O-to-O saying 7, 9, 8 is the center. 22 and 18 are ineligible. So I just say it out loud. I don't memorize it. I just say it out loud. I know some other officials write them down pregame and different things like that. There's injuries, there's substitutions. So I don't like to necessarily write them down, but I'm saying it out loud and number 8 was one of them. So now if I miss that it's the center going downfield and somebody else says, "Hey, Mike, didn't you say number 8 was ineligible?" Well, yes, I did, Daniel. And now all of a sudden 8 just gets a 34-yard completion here. Well, now we got a little bit of a problem. So, yeah.
Honestly, kudos to these coaches because with the numbering exception, you've already built a very strange offensive formation because it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be a kick formation. But this is a legal play, right? I mean, you can stand up and throw it.
Oh, yeah. Everything's legal about it. Everything's legal about it except for the person who catches the ball.
Catches it.
And now I want you to,
with all that chaos and you've got numbers everywhere, like who, are the refs going to be able to remember? What is that? 10? I mean, that's 9 guys in there in the box.
Yeah, but I'm responsible for 5 of them.
9 numbers, and what if I put all eligible numbers out there, right? Like,
which by all rights you should, because they're typically more athletic kids that can cover the field on punt. So I was always under the, like, for me, my punt team was always our defensive linebackers, defensive backs, and most defensive backs are wearing an eligible number. Some linebackers are wearing 40s numbers. So you might have every player on the field with an eligible number.
Yep.
I'm going to identify the ones that are ineligible, which there's only going to be 5. So that's why I'm going to call them out, because there's a lot of times I've seen backup quarterbacks out of the long snappers because they can throw the ball between their legs the best. So that's why I did it, because we had a scenario probably about 8 years ago where the ball was bobbled and number 34, I'm making up numbers, ended up catching a game-winning touchdown on a broken punt play. That was a broken play that was just a black eye on everybody because you had people everywhere. And then there was a forward lateral thrown in there, and it was bad. It was bad optics, and it was a good learning play for me, but it was bad optics. But yeah, that's why I'm calling them out. I want you to take note on the bottom of the screen here. We got 2 coaches that are casually having a conversation. Somebody's calling for a fake punt here, and I just want you to watch their reactions. They're just talking. It's 4th and 6. They see the ball. It gets completed. They're numb. There's no reaction. There's no. They're like, yeah, we were supposed to do that. You know?
That's crazy. Man, they got away with one.
Yes, they did.
I like it. I'm not trying to use it. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? They back you up 15 and you punt again anyway.
Some people take that delay a game.
Or they screw it up and you get the play. Like, it's kind of like hard counting on your own 3, right? Like, even if we screw this up, it cost us a
yard and a half.
If they screw up, I get 5 out of it. I got one more I want to show you, and this comes out of the college league, so it's a little different.
Okay.
I just want so I don't know if you know, a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, Oklahoma played Auburn. I'm sure you've seen the trick play that Oklahoma pulled off.
Are you biased in one way or the other?
I thought it was legit. Once again, that Oklahoma Auburn game was a little weird, but let's see. Oh, that is Facebook. Unfortunately, I don't like giving anything to Facebook, but here we are. All right, so I'm gonna play it here, and this is, as far as I know, live on TV. So what you see here is John Mateer stands up and throws the ball to number 5 in the end zone for a touchdown. And you go, why was that guy that wide open? So we're going to get the celebration here. Isaiah Santinga, cool touchdown. It was 3-3. OU goes up 9-3. Auburn fans scream that we stole the game. All right.
Oh,
so this is pre-snap. He was walking towards the sideline, and then I think the call came down from above. Stop him, throw the ball. Because you can see all of these defenders have stopped worrying about who's on the field. No one runs on, so there's no substitution going on. He's headed to the sidelines, and I think they're going to sit here and circle it for a couple seconds. Quickly, the offense... So there he goes. He's walking, almost like he's walking off.
Okay, so right here, pause it right there. There's where your violation occurs. The ball was never set, and he was outside. And he was outside the numbers.
So in college, the ball has to be set with everyone inside the numbers.
In high school, the ready for play, or the ball has to be set. And the players are inside the numbers, so that's them checking in. So you got to get to the top of the numbers in order for you to be considered checked into the play. So because he was close to the sideline at that point in time, now you got deception because they're thinking it's a substitution, and they're focused on the inner, in this scenario, inner 10. And now he's going down the sideline, and he never checked into the field of play, which is the numbers.
In high school, that would have been definitely blown dead. In college, it obviously didn't matter.
Did they get away with it?
They did get away with it.
Okay.
Yeah. I will say that is the second time that same play has been pulled off against that defensive coordinator He gave one up when he was at. I can't remember where he was before, but I can't remember if he was at Ole Miss when it happened to him or Ole Miss did it to him. But another team got him with the old hat on the sideline, run it down. So he, obviously if you're the same defensive coordinator, it happens twice to you. You got to start thinking about, are we counting players? Is anybody in the box going, wait a minute, one off, but not one on? Look, on Friday nights, I'm talking. They're probably tired of hearing me talk because I'm like, they got 2 off, they got 2 on. We got 2 off, we got 2 on. You know what I mean?
Yep.
One is headed off, but one is not coming on. He's still in the game. And now here's the deal: is they talked with OU, did talk with the refs pre-game 3 different times to ensure that play was good.
So then,
which means they knew that DC was not good at this situation and was going to use it. I think that this is one of those situations they just were like, oh crap, they're not covering him. Call the play.
And that's 2 scenarios there. A, you got a no huddle team. So that's a big caveat of the no huddle teams, that it gets to be your advantage. And like you're talking about, not only in the college game with all the people that they have up in the press box and in the booth and stuff like that, they're not only just calling out 2 in, 2 out. They're calling out, all right, number 9 is coming out when number 3 is going in. And when number 3 is in, they run these plays, as opposed to when number 9 is in, they run those plays. So they have it down to the pure science of, okay, he's in, this is going to potentially be the play. They don't know exactly. But because it's at the far sideline, and that game was at OU, and I'm going to say that it gets pretty loud there in a good game. Haven't been there myself, but I'm going to venture to guess that to identify to your defense on the field to somebody on the far sideline in that crowd is nearly impossible.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I couldn't tell you from the collegiate view, from the high school view, that would be illegal participation. Correct.
I love it. It was also a very big controversy, and social media blew up over it for a while. And Auburn fans tried to get the game vacated out of our victories because, we cheated or whatever. But
well, anyway, you probably did, but
yeah, we won. That's what happened, Mike. We won.
Well,
thanks for having me on, brother.
Absolutely.
Good. I love seeing all the chaos in the world. I understand that refs aren't perfect, neither are coaches. Some of us do some sneaky stuff, like send the center down on a punt
and get away with it.
That. I am going to run that and send you the clip when I get the penalty and they pull it back 10 yards. What would it be? Would it be 5 or 10?
That one would be, I'd probably call an illegal touching on that, so that would be a 5 yard. But then you also
not a legal man downfield.
No, because he caught the ball.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So if it's incomplete, I get a legal man downfield.
Yeah. Which is probably going to be declined because it was 4th down anyway. So won't want to give you a replay of the down, but because of illegal touching, we're going to have a loss of down. So you're going to get the yardage plus they're going to get the ball at potentially the 50-yard line ish.
Illegal touching is loss of down. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Maybe it's not as worth it.
Things that make you go
pretty ballsy to be at the positive. What was it? 44?
Yeah.
43? Like you might as well try the field goal and just treat it as a punt at that point. You know what I mean? Like that's pretty ballsy move.
Hey man, those guys on the sidelines though, those coaches sold it. Like that was their play. They weren't even happy for like a successful pass, let alone the fact that it was an ineligible guy. Yeah, they were numb. No. All right, brother man. Well, once again, I appreciate you taking the time out of your cheers.
All those things.
Busy schedule to jump on here tonight. So yeah, going with the Yinling. By the way, do you know where Yinling is made?
Way up there with you guys.
Pennsylvania, not New Jersey. I can't take credit for it. Oldest brewery in the country though.
For sure. My first time in Boston, I had to stop at the old Bell in Hand Tavern and have a Yingling to have a. You keep checking the Yankee score. What is it?
Not going to talk about it.
Love it. To have the oldest beer, because the Bell in Hand is supposedly the oldest continuously operating bar in America. So the oldest beer and the oldest bar.
Check and check.
is a good combo.
Yes, sir. All right, brother. Well, you hop off, go on FS1 and watch the end of the Yankees comeback, because that's what it's going to be again, baby.
I hope not. Burn pinstripes.
Daniel, once again, appreciate you, brother. Good luck this coming weekend, and let me know if there's anything I can do to help you out.
Appreciate you, Mike.
All right, brother. Have a good night. Why is it not stopping?